Checker Pro Joe here on the Checker Pro radio show. I've got a common question. It comes up all the time, and this is really important. It's about your air conditioning system. And the question is how often should I get my AC units serviced? So I brought an expert in here. He's an all-star from Service All-Stars. It's Sal. Sal, how are you?
Hey, Joe, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, it's great to have you here. You are my go-to expert today for this question. How often should we get our air conditioning unit serviced? Is it always once, twice, four times a year? Is it always the same answer, or does it depend?
I mean, honestly, it really depends. The more, the better, I say. But for a lot of commercial customers, you might do it every quarter, maybe every month. Depends on the usage. Homeowners might do twice a year, but I feel like twice a year changing a filter is not going to be enough. I think that, it depends. Do you have pets? What are you doing? Where do you live? How much dust is in the air outside? Do you leave your windows open? There's so many different factors. The filter, I feel like, should be accessible to the client to change whenever they want to, or they can have us come out and change it for them. Usually our residential plants are about twice a year, and we'll come out and change the filter. We also have a program where we'll send the filter to you, and you can just drop the filter in, because after a month or 2 months of use on a filter, it could get dirty and could affect the energy costs that the system is going through, and also the wear and tear on the blower motor. So I think that if you if you know how to change the filter on your own, would be helpful as well. I mean, some people have also cooking habits. Maybe you're frying a lot of food or something, and that could cause a lot of grease to go up in this filter, requiring it to be changed more than often.
So when your team comes out to the house to do service, it's more than just air filters. You're going to look at the coils, clean the coils. You're going to check the levels of refrigerant, make sure that it's kicking on when it needs to kick on, and that it's going through the stages it needs to go to not only cool the house, but also to pull out any humidity that might be in there, because the AC system is relatively complicated, isn't it?
Absolutely. It's definitely not a simple machine. I mean, when you get past that, just changing the filter, you do need a professional to get in there and do all the cleaning, testing, and inspecting required every 6 months or so.
Yeah, what some people will do is they'll get their systems, their heating and cooling systems done twice a year in the fall and the spring. Now, where we are in this part of California, we don't really get a hard winter, right? So it's it's not quite the same thing as someone who might be in Minnesota, where they might actually have a little bit of heat in the summer and a lot of cold in the winter. What do you recommend for people in our market?
As far as the frequency, Joe.
Yeah, frequency. Is it going to be in the fall and in the spring? Is it going to be in the summer and the winter?
I think it should be right before the winter. Yeah, sometime in the fall, and then sometime in the spring, right before summer, right before you're going to really use the system. I mean, get us out there, and we'll take care of all the maintenance for you.
Yeah. What happens a lot, and you know this, Sal, is when we haven't used our air conditioning system much because we're in a time of year where it's not really hot or we're not using it a lot, we start to use it, and then it can pop. A capacitor could go. That leak we didn't know we had becomes evident, right, in the refrigerant. It's a coil maybe. And then we really know when we get that first real hot day. So what I recommend to people all the time is to have your system maintained at least twice a year by a reputable company like Service All Stars. And that way, if something has occurred at some point, you guys are going to find it before the homeowner finds it on that hot day.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
It's called being proactive, right? We want to be proactive. And that's one of the reasons why you go out to the home and look at the systems. Um, if you always wait for something, it's kind of like waiting for your car to break down or your truck to break down. If you
Well,
get good service ahead of time, you don't have to worry about that later.
right, right. I mean, case in scenario, a customer just called us a couple of days ago, and they wanted us to come out. We got out there. They had a refrigerant leak.
Mm.
Now, a typical AC unit uses about 8 to 10 pounds of refrigerant. They had nearly lost all the refrigerant in the system down to maybe a couple of pounds in the system. So they needed to get recharged to maybe about 6 to 8 pounds of freon to get into the system to get it back to operational standards. And what I told the client was, had you had a maintenance agreement, we could have spotted this, or any professional could have really spotted this out long before it dropped down to only having 2 pounds in the system. So
Mhm.
it could have caught the leak, maybe 1 pound or half a pound or 2 pounds leaked out, and maybe did a leak repair and put the freon in, and now they're good to go. Now, instead of that, now they have to buy, instead of buying, something minimal, now they have to spend maximum dollars in trying to get this thing repaired, and they still don't have the maintenance done on the system. So they still have to get the maintenance done after the repair is done. So
Mhm.
it doesn't pay not to have a maintenance membership. It's for two visits, we charge $249 a year. It's definitely worth it.
Absolutely. And for more information, all of Sal's information is located in the show notes. Sal, as always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.